Alright, so let's come to a comfortable start position. In fact, I'm going to recommend actually kneeling today. Now, you might find different, you might really not fancy kneeling, in which case please don't feel obliged to kneel. But a blanket for the knees, coming into a sort of early hero pose here, with a cushion sneaked up towards the backs of the knees. Otherwise, as you are, on your mat is absolutely perfect. Wherever you are is absolutely fine. So just settling in, nice, evenly distributing the weight across both sit bones, knees together if you've gone for the kneeling option. A nice upright quality to the spine. Imagining the crown of the head being drawn upwards by a golden thread. And then just turn those fingertips in towards each other, palms roll up, elbows soften to the sides, the shoulders melt away from the ears. Feel any sort of knots and tensions in the neck just release. All the way sliding off the shoulders, off the backs of the shoulder blades, into the floor beneath. And then just drawing that chin parallel to the floor. Maybe softening and closing the eyes. As we close the eyes and open the heart. And just start to breathe in and out, inhales, exhales, the same length if you can, just really trying to center, smooth down the breath. Drawing that breath down deep into the belly, and we will practice a little bit of pranayama to start class today. But just to settle the breath and arrive on this magic carpet for the next hour. And remembering, as ever, no particular expression is demanded of you right now, just a relaxed face, jaw nicely relaxed, backs of the eyes relaxed, and just inviting in any and all intentions for your practice this afternoon. And maybe as we sit here with the eyes closed, the heart open, we can just bring to mind something we feel grateful for. It could be a something or a someone or several someones, whatever it is. Just invite that in now, into the energies. And see if you can embody that sense of gratitude and feel that sort of weight lift from the heart as you do, as you release into gratitude. And then, as we are ready, we're going to softly blink the eyes open, drink in the light of our surroundings, and then from here we're going to come into the lotus breath. So I'll just show you one round first to refresh the memory. It's been a few weeks since we've practiced this one, so I'll show you first and then we can practice together. And so on and so forth. So from here we come into our Jan Mudra, so air and fire here. I believe those are the two elements represented by the index fingers and the thumbs. And this represents our sort of innate intelligence. So coming into Jan Mudra, palms roll up into the lap, and let's empty the lungs of breath right now. So empty everything out but keep the spine stretched upwards. And then from here we inhale as we gently draw some circles through the air, softly drawing those arms up towards the side. The elbows remain soft the whole way round. At the top of the head with the shoulders nice and soft, we gently melt those fingertips in. Palms melt in towards centre, and we start to draw the palms down in front of the heart centre. As we exhale, we press away all of that no longer serves. Exhale it out. Continue on the exhale as we curl the fingertips round, and then inhale to draw back up underneath the heart and drop the fingertips to the sides. That was just a little trial one, and let's put it all together now with the breath. Movement matching the breath. So as we're ready, Jan Mudra. Here we go. Soften the shoulders. Inhale up. At the top of that inhale, melting in, exhale softly through the nose, that's available. Pressing away all that no longer serves. Again, inhale, sweeping round. Couple more times. Inhale, reaching up. And bring those palms back to rest in at the lap as we soften the shoulders here. Good. Blinking the eyes open if at any point you soften down the eyes. And then from here, whether we're cross-legged or kneeling, if you are sitting cross-legged, switch across the shins just to break those habits. And we're going to come into some sitting cat-cow. So from here again, coming into the breath, so those lungs are that supportive capacity around the heart. So we're really building up that respiratory system in this session today. So nice upright quality to the spine. We're going to simply draw those palms out towards the side of the room. Inflate the chest, draw that breath into the belly, lift the head a little. And then exhale to round the spine forwards as we bring the palms in towards the front of the room and draw the navel in towards the spine. Go carefully if you are avoiding back bends, so just gently open the arms and maybe just lift the chest without stretching the crown of the head back. And again, matching that movement for the breath. So in, exhales in. Inhale to open and expand. Gentle arch of the spine and exhale, rounding forwards. Chin might tap in towards the chest. Inhale, open up. And exhale to softly round. Shoulders round down away from the ears. Keep this going a few more times. Inhale to open. Exhale, round. And again, inhale to open. Exhale to round. Last time, inhale to open. Dwell a while here, just roll those palms up to receive. And then exhale to gently round. And soften the palms to the thighs and roll those shoulders above the hips as the head comes to balance here. So from our position, we're going to come into kneeling if that's okay. Otherwise you can do this one on the bottom with the legs crossed. We're going to come into Bharadwaj twist. So a gentle spinal twist, and I'll add in an extra dimension of challenge for you should you want it, but of course always your choice. So I'm just going to do this one from behind so that you can see the position of the feet if you choose the kneeling option. So I'm going to turn away from you, and what we do is with the knees together, as we shift the feet over towards the left hand side and bring that ankle onto the sole of that right foot as we sink the hips just to the right hand side of those feet. So those feet sort of cup one another in this space here. The knees are drawn to rest against the floor but gently parted, and we reach those fingertips up towards the sky, and then we open out towards the right hand side, reaching for the floor behind. Left palm can press that left thigh away. I'll turn and face you now for this one. Left palm can press that left thigh away, or you can bring that left palm to the outside of the right thigh for a little deeper, more intense twist. But as ever, in our twist, we want to expand the spine upwards, so extend the spine upwards as we inhale, and then exhale to roll out a little bit more towards the right hand side, softening that belly in towards the spine as we twist. For an added dimension here to deepen the twist still further, you might choose to trail those right fingertips all the way around and reach for the shirt, or even the opposite hip here, okay? But try to keep those hips nicely balanced, those sit bones nicely balanced, and you can practice the same thing in a cross-legged position. So instead what you can do is just bring that right heel in towards the groin, and that left foot cups around the bottom, sitting nice and stably. Same thing, reaching those palms up, and then over towards the right, pressing that left knee, right knee, and maybe even wrapping the opposite hip. So find a comfortable twist that's comfortable for you. Just a nice sort of fresh twist for us. A little bit different to the usual. So come into that comfortable seat. Let's twist over towards the right hand side in our Bharadwaj twist. And just soften that head over towards the right hand side as we roll that right shoulder away. Inhale to lengthen through the spine, the crown of the head. And exhale to twist a little bit deeper. Now again, find a position with the head that feels comfortable on the neck. So no need to twist all the way over towards the right if that's uncomfortable. Just look a little bit sort of diagonally across the room if that's more comfortable. And then soften the eyes and just bring that attention in towards the spine, into that twist. And just feel that breath drawing into the belly, expanding those intercostal muscles, that space between the ribs as we draw breath in. And keep those rounds of breath nice and even, nice and smooth. And then from this position we're going to exhale, unwind the upper body, so bring the upper body over towards the left. And then from here we're going to keep that right heel in towards the bottom, slide that left foot away and roll onto that left hip or that left thigh as we come into a sitting swan here. So walk those fingertips in. Again, if you're avoiding back bends, probably better to lower forwards a little bit closer towards the floor and rest on the forearms here. Otherwise you can walk those fingertips alongside the body, roll those shoulders back, scoop the tailbone under, and you might even want to pop the bottom up on a cushion as well, just to elevate the hips and decrease the stretch across the spine there. So find a position that's comfortable. Just concentrate on pressing that heart forwards, broadening out the shoulders, drawing the belly in towards the spine and lengthening through that back foot as you keep the crown of the head nicely balanced up on top of the neck, or you can fold forwards resting against the forearms, but keeping those shoulders broad, elbows shoulders width, as we keep the head just lifted gently above the chest here. Keep that heel all the way in towards the groins because we're gently opening up the hip as well. And then maybe you roll a little further onto that left hip to get a deeper stretch through that right hip as you do. So just coming into a sort of sitting or semi-sleeping dozing swan as we keep that head lifted. And then from here we're going to press through the palms of the hands as we breathe out. And we're going to swing that leg all the way around. Bring the knees alongside one another and shift the hips off towards the opposite side. So I'll just show you from behind again as we shift towards the opposite side. So we walk the feet over towards the right. We bring that right ankle on top of that left foot as we sink towards the left of the sit bones. Open the knees a little wider so sit more stably. And then gently reach those fingertips up. And then exhale to twist over towards the left hand side. See if you can come to that stable position with the sit bones here. So if you find that hip gently raises, that's okay. But see if you can just ground down a little through that right hip point as you lengthen the spine and we twist over towards the left. Same thing, you can press that right knee away, or you can press that left thigh away to intensify the stretch as we twist over towards the left. And again, option to wrap those left fingertips around the right hip crease, draw length through the spine as we draw the navel in, and twist a little deeper over towards the left hand side here. Keep the navel drawn in and this protects the spine as well as stabilising and strengthening those abdominals. Good, so holding here, and again same thing with the legs crossed, you can just bring that left heel in and bring that right shin out in a cross-legged position. That works just as well here. Good. And then from this position on our next exhale we're going to bring those palms over towards the right hand side to unwind. And then roll those fingertips towards the short edge of the mat, over towards the left as we slide that right foot away. Bring that left heel in towards the bottom and sink through that right hip as we come into either our sitting swan or our dozing swan, or maybe even our sleeping swan if we want to rest the head all the way down. Okay, so just gently bringing that pelvis into a stable position, lengthening through that right foot, sitting almost on top of that left heel and supporting the weight through the palms or steepled fingertips or on the forearms or fists, wherever you feel comfortable. So find wherever you are at and hold it here. I'm just getting warmed up here for our hippie flow, which is coming next. Maybe you rock a little from side to side, that can sort of loosen up the hips a little more, and keep that left knee padded up so that we don't hurt any tender knees, okay? And then from this position we're going to roll off towards the left hand side, swing that right foot all the way around. And then from here, we're going to lower to the floor. So shifting out any props for now. Swinging that right foot around, we're going to use the belly muscles to hug that left knee in towards the tummy, towards the chest here. Draw all the toes back. As we hug that left knee in towards the chest, drop those shoulders away from those ears. Press through that right heel. Ready for our hippie flow here, okay? So from this position, we're going to reach those right fingertips up and up overhead. We're going to reach for either the thigh or maybe even the foot on that left hand side and roll onto our right hip. And again, it doesn't have to be glamorous. Just rolling onto that right hand side and stacking that left knee on top of right and reaching right fingertips up and overhead. Lengthen the tailbone towards that the left heel and towards the right heel as well. So just lengthen the tailbone towards the front of the room as you rest the forehead or rest the side of the head against the upper arm here as we draw those right toes back and keep the belly engaged, just drawing that left heel in towards the bottom. It doesn't matter if you can't reach the feet here, you can just put a bend in the knee or maybe even just rest the knees on top of one another, but pressing the thighs together so that you're still getting that engagement through the core muscles here. Good. And then from this position, we're going to open up that left hip. So we're going to open up the left hip, and whether we bring that foot behind, so we can press through that left foot and open the left hip out towards the side of the room here, or we can plant that left foot on the right shin, or slide it up towards the thigh, coming into a fallen tree. Again, keep those right toes drawn back so that we activate and firm all the thighs all the way down the leg here, and then reach the left fingertips up and overhead. Interlacing the fingertips up towards the knuckles and pointing the index fingers up and overhead, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, and see if you can balance here in your fallen tree pose. Good. Holding here, and remember to smile. Just pressing that foot against the thigh or the shins or even the floor in front of or behind that right leg. Lengthen the tailbone, tummy draws in. Nice and stable through the pelvis. If you roll around a bit, that's perfectly fine. Good. And then from this position, we're going to roll all the way towards that bent knee side of the room. So we're going to roll onto the belly, keeping that left knee bent out towards the side of the room, and come into the forearms here. Now you can stay here for Sphinx if you're avoiding back bends, or you might want to slide the palms alongside the waist here. Hug those elbows in towards the side waist and press with the palms of the hands as we lengthen through right toes and just lift gently up. As we lock those thighs in towards centre, press the pubic bone against the floor, and just come into a baby cobra arms here. Okay, otherwise we're resting on the forearms in our Sphinx with that chest lowered towards the floor with the lower body nicely relaxed here. So take whichever option feels right for you. And then from this position, we're going to slide that left foot out. I'm just going to move back. Slide the left foot out. And then same thing, staying in your Sphinx here, drawing those left toes back this time. Or you might want to come into baby cobra arms as those elbows hug the waist and just feel those lower back muscles engage. But go really gently because it's quite a strong strengthening exercise for the low back here. So holding in this position. Just reach the crown of the head forwards, those shoulders soften away from the ears. And then from here, we're going to walk those right toes back in, put a bend back in that left knee. And we're going to roll all the way onto our backs in just a moment. But first of all, we're going to roll onto our side. Draw that right palm parallel with the short edge of the mat and roll back onto that left hip, lengthening through the ankles, lengthening the tailbone towards the heels, press through that right forearm, right shoulder over right elbow, and then from here see if we can reach for the knee, and then maybe we can reach for the toes, okay? Doesn't matter if you can't. Then from here we're going to open up and stretch that left foot up towards the sky. Otherwise support behind the thigh, the backs of the knees, the shins, wherever you are. Keep pressing through that forearm. Engage the belly, draw those right toes back and holding here. From this position, more rolling around. We're going to roll gently, whether we're hooking the toes or not, roll gently onto our back, but draw the belly in towards the spine so it's a controlled rolling onto the back. And then supporting behind that thigh or the knees. The knee can stay bent, right knee can stay bent or leg extended, and just press through that left heel towards the sky, stretching out the hamstrings, the calf muscles, and maybe sort of flex and extend those toes up towards the sky. Soften those shoulders away from those ears. Good. And then put a bend in that left knee as we open the hip towards the left-hand side. Bring that right palm to that right hip point, and that left palm can come to the inside or the outside of the left knee as we gently open towards the left-hand side. Just keep that nice little opening sensation in the hips here, and keep all the toes drawn back, just gently holding here, either above or below. You might find you can stretch that leg out towards the side of the room, straighten up, but otherwise the knee softly bent is more than enough here. Keep that chin away from the chest, and then from here we're going to exhale softly, release that knee back through centre and all the way down towards the floor, ready to repeat on the other side. So I'm going to switch sides now so that I don't turn my back to you. So on our backs here, we're going to draw that right knee in towards the chest, draw all the toes back, soften those shoulders away from those ears, lengthen from that left heel and feel that stretch across the fronts of the hip flexors here. And then from this position, we're going to prepare to roll around a little bit more. So we're going to roll onto our left-hand side. And either support the shin, the foot, the ankle, wherever you can reach. Left fingertips up and overhead as we stack those knees. Lengthen the tailbone, engage the core, and press that right heel in towards the bottom. Keep those shoulders nice and open, belly drawn in, and rest that head against the left upper arm here. Just gently pulling that heel towards the bottom, or just put a bend in both knees and press the thighs together, maybe bringing that hand to the hip here. but squeezing and pressing those thighs together because we're engaging the core as well as stretching through the quadriceps muscles. So holding there. And then from this position, we're going to release and open that right knee up a little and bring that foot in front of or behind that left foot, pressing through the toes or maybe even the sole of the feet, or maybe resting that foot on the shin or the thigh, but the toes must point down. Then inhale as we reach those right fingertips up and overhead, clasping up to the knuckles here, point the index fingers up and overhead and see if you can balance, engaging your core, squeezing those thighs in towards centre, and again keep that head resting in your fallen tree here. So just sumptuous pose here on the floor, but engaging all the right muscles and still practicing our balance. How about that? So pressing that foot against the thigh or the shin or the floor, wherever you are. Keep that head soft, neck nice and soft, shoulders soft away from the ears. Good. And then from here we're going to exhale and softly follow that knee towards the right hand side of the room. So roll onto the belly and either coming into Sphinx arms with those elbows beneath the shoulders, or you can walk those palms down a little, hug the elbows in, roll those shoulders back and come into baby cobra arms. Just pressing up a little bit more. Always yogi's choice. So we're honouring today's body wherever we find ourselves today. And then from here we're going to lengthen through the right foot towards the front of the room, draw those right toes back. And then same thing, either slide those palms forwards and come into a Sphinx as we open up the hip and roll onto that right hip to get a deeper opening here. Or you can rest down the forearms, or again you can walk palms alongside ribs, roll those shoulders back and just lift that head gently here. Good, and then from here, as we breathe out, we're going to put a bend back in that knee, slide that left foot along towards centre. Prepare to roll back onto the left-hand side. As we bring that left forearm underneath that left shoulder, press with the right palm to lift ourselves up. And then from here, either reaching behind the shin, or the calf, or the thighs, or maybe even the toes, we're going to stretch up towards the sky, pressing the floor away. Stretching here, and again that knee can stay bent, okay, so just drawing that knee in towards the chest, but keep the belly engaged, tailbone lengthening as we hold ourselves in this position, okay. And then from here, prepare to engage those core muscles once more. So from this position, that leg raised towards the sky, we're going to round the spine, so draw the belly in towards the spine, and with control, gently lower back, so keep that forearm up, roll onto the back, and then gently release towards the floor, supporting behind the thigh, the knee, the shin, wherever you are. Pressing through both sets of feet, drawing all the toes back. And then from here, we're going to open up that right hip. So put a soft bend in that right knee. Open it out towards the right hand side, support above or below that knee, depending how deeply you'd like to come into the stretch. And press that left palm to the left hip point, or slide that left palm out towards the left. Maybe even look in the opposite direction, so look over towards those left fingertips, just to deepen and intensify the stretch a little bit. And holding here just for a breath or two. Breathing into the belly, slow and steady. And then as we're ready, we're going to exhale, draw that knee back through centre. We're going to hug both knees in towards the chest. And then gently rolling off one towards the right hand side as we press ourselves up onto all fours here. So from this position, we're going to bring our blankets across the centre of the mat just to protect our knees. And we're going to slowly, fluidly, gently, mindfully warm up the spine. Again, if you're avoiding back bends, go really carefully. So bring those shoulders over, those wrists spread out through those fingertips, and a nice flat back here as we tuck those toes under. Good. Holding in this position. Reach the crown of the head forward and anchor that tailbone towards the back of the room. Feel the rib cage drawing in, wrapping around the navel like a glove. And sort of, no need to overexert ourselves here. So make this quite a light, airy sort of a pose, but we can feel and experience some lightness in the upper body as we gently press that floor away. So just keeping it light, keeping it soft and gentle. And then from here, we're going to roll the shoulders back, away from the ears, press the heart forwards, and as we press the heart forwards, the navel will start to dip and the tailbone will lift and those sit bones will spread apart into our cow pose. And then from here, we're going to exhale, curl the tailbone under, press the floor away and either keep the head lifted above the heart but just gently lengthen through the head, or tilt the chin in towards the chest for a deeper, intense stretch. And you can push back through the palms of the hands, bringing those shoulders behind the wrists to get a deeper stretch in between the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the upper to mid back. And then as we inhale, we rock forwards, roll those shoulders back, press the heart forwards, lift the tailbone. And feel free to stay here with the palms of the hands, or if you'd like to, you can turn the fingertips facing in towards the body. The right palm first maybe, as we alternate, and same thing, roll those shoulders back. Press that heart forwards, lift the tailbone, and then gently roll the spine under, hollow out the back, as we peel those right fingertips off the floor into a cat position. And then again, inhale to roll those shoulders back. Press the heart forwards, go really gently across the wrist, but this can be quite a nice release if you spend lots of time typing at a desk. And then exhale to round, tuck the tailbone under, lift the belly in, hollow out the back, press the floor away. And then inhale to lift and lengthen. Press through the fingertips, switch to the other side now, spinning those left fingertips in towards the body. Pressing through the heel of that right palm, and keep that heel of the right palm level with the right hip crease as well. And then same thing here, roll those shoulders back as we press the heart forwards. Softly, gently, mindfully, remember. And then exhale to tuck the tailbone, hollow out the back and press the floor away. And again, feel free to rock back a little deeper and peel the heel of the left hand off the floor, keeping the arms nice and straight to get deeper into those wrists. Again, inhale to rock forwards, bring that heart forwards, lift the crown of the head up. And exhale to hollow out the back, tuck the tailbone, navel draws in, press the floor away, rock forwards or back depending on how you feel in the wrists, in the body. And again, keep that head lifted or chin tucked in. Again, inhale, rolling out, press the heart forwards, lift the tailbone. And last time, exhale to rock back, hollow out the back, press the floor away, chin towards chest or head lifted. And then from here, we're going to release, so rock back. Turn those fingers back round to face the short edge of the mat, and we're going to come into a child's pose, a really nice one before we get to a little bit more movement. So from here, walk those knees in or apart if you prefer, to create a little bit of extra space between the thighs. And then from here, we're going to sink the hips towards the heels, but slide the elbows away. So slide the elbows away and steeple the fingertips behind the head as we bring the weight back into the heels to open across the shoulders, as we rest the thumbs against the base of the neck here and lower the forehead towards the floor. Use the weight of the hips to stretch the spine out and decompress here, and the heart will press lightly towards the floor. Breathing into the deep belly, breathing into that pelvic bowl, into the low back. Breathing between the shoulder blades, opening up the space there, finding a little space at the back of the heart as you breathe in. And exhale to melt a little deeper towards the floor or hips towards the heels. Toes can stay tucked under, or you can rest on the tops of the feet. And then inhale is to come forwards. We're going to plant the palms, shoulder width apart, bring those shoulders over those wrists, and we're going to gently warm up into our first downward dog here. So you can keep your blanket handy for any sort of lowering of the knees that we might do later on. But for now, we're going to bring those shoulders over those wrists, spread out to the fingertips, press through index fingers and thumbs, tuck those toes. Bring the belly back towards the thighs, keep the head lifted above the chest if you ever struggle with dizzy spells. And then from here, we're going to press the floor away as we send the tailbone up. And then exhale to lower all the way back down again. Inhale to look up, just a little. And then exhale to rock back, come into the toes, lift the tailbone, start to press a little deeper through the heels. And then exhale to soften all the way back down towards the floor. Inhale to roll the shoulders back, lift the heart a little, stretch the crown of the head forwards. And again, exhale, tuck the toes, send the tailbone high. Pressing through the heels, maybe a little bit deeper, maybe you press through one heel, and then the other heel. And then as we exhale, we're going to lower all the way back down once more. Inhale to press the heart forwards, lift that energy, create some space. And then last time, exhale, tuck the toes, send the tailbone up. Belly towards thighs and sink through those heels. Knees can stay strongly bent. See if you can bring the head back a little so the arms are in line with the sides of the ears, or work towards, and the crown of the head can be gently lifted, or you can allow the crown of the head to start to press towards the floor as we come into our first downward dog. And then let's take that dog for a little bit of a walk. So just wag the tail by lifting one heel then the other. Maybe you put a soft bend in the knees. Pedaling out through the heels. Then as we're ready, we're going to inhale, look forwards, put a soft bend back in those knees, come into the toes, almost as if to sink those hips towards the heels, to stretch the soles of the feet. And then from here, we're going to step towards the front of the mat. We're going to reach for opposite elbows, And again, the head can stay above the heart, or you can lower the crown of the head towards the floor, stretching downwards. And maybe the forehead rests against the forearms as we gently rock a little from side to side here. So gentle pendulous motion from side to side. Good. And then find some stillness as you rock back through centre and allow the crown of the head to droop a little towards the floor. Shoulders draw away from the ears, and maybe the fingertips soften towards the floor as well, if that feels comfortable. So the head is below the heart here, if that crown of the head is reaching for the floor. And this is a gentle inversion which helps to soothe any anxieties, any events of the day start to dissolve in a pose like this one. But it might be the case that it's a little bit much, too much of a rush of blood to the head, so just lift the head up, looking forwards and press through the heels, keeping those knees bent to take the load off the low back here. And then from this position, we're going to slide the palms to the shins as we open the shoulders, so broaden the shoulders apart, lift that head. Then exhale to slide the palms a little further up as we gently round the spine, bringing the palms to rest against the thighs. Lift the belly in. Then pressing through the palms, arrow straight arms as we roll those shoulders back on an inhale, lift the heart, come into a gentle back stretch here. And then from here we're going to float the palms out towards the side of the room as we press through the feet, reaching up towards the sky. And from this position, let's move that out of the way. From this position, we're going to press through the heels, lengthen through those fingertips, and then lower that right palm to the right thigh. Okay? Soften that right shoulder over that right hip, and lengthen up through the left fingertips. Ground down for that left heel as we then reach up and over towards the right hand side. Soften that right shoulder away from the ear. So we start to wear our shoulders a little bit like earrings at times. So just allow that shoulder to drop as we reach the left fingertips up and overhead, pressing through the heels, engaging that body, that belly gently in, drawing everything in towards center, scooping up on the pelvic floor muscles, lengthening the tailbone. And then exhale to move from the navel, so draw that navel in, lengthen right fingertips alongside left. Inhale to reach up, maybe take it into a bit of a crawl. And then from here we're going to lower left fingertips towards left thigh as we reach up through right fingertips and over towards the side, moving gently from that navel, and the whole time we move sideways, we keep lengthening the tailbone to support that whole spine as we reach up and over towards the left. Again, look up towards the fingers or look out towards the side of the room, or down even if that's more comfortable. And then from here we're going to exhale to bring those left fingertips alongside right, bring it back through centre. Inhale up, and then we're going to exhale to soften those palms towards the thighs once more. From this position, we're going to step the feet apart. Big toes might slide in a little, heels apart. Outside edges of the feet nice and parallel. And now we're going to take it into a spinal twist with a bit of abdominal strengthening as well. So Kati Chakrasana, one of my favourites for boosting circulation around the abdominal organs and for increasing the strength in that area. So from this position, we're going to take those fingertips out towards the front of the room, palms face in. Soften those shoulders away, fingertips are at shoulder's height here. Press through all four corners of the feet. And then from this position, I'll just do it from behind. We're going to lengthen the tailbone as we squeeze those thighs in towards centre, imagining we're pressing a block between the thighs. And then from this position, we're going to draw the belly in as we draw length through the crown of the head and twist over towards the right. Drawing in the navel the whole way round, and maybe put a soft bend in that left knee as you twist over towards the right, keeping the right shoulder and the left shoulder balanced. And again, softly bend that left knee if that helps you to draw the belly in a little bit deeper. You might be able to continue from this position over towards the right, by wrapping that right palm over towards the left hip or reaching for the shirt, and then wrapping that left palm over the right shoulder as you draw the side waist in, length through the crown of the head, and look over towards the right if that's okay on the neck. Maybe from here you roll the chin in through centre, and inhale to look left, and then exhale back through centre, and inhale to look right. Keep the thighs spinning in towards centre, that tailbone lengthening, and take it gently round here. So from here we're going to release the palms back out towards the side of the room, and as we inhale we draw back through centre. Good, then it's the same thing on the other side. So from here, fingertips at shoulder height, feet spread broadly through all four corners, a gentle soft bend in the knees, so we avoid hyperextending and locking out those knees. Then as we exhale, we're going to draw over towards the left-hand side, moving from the navel. And again, when you start to feel a bit of strain coming into the thigh or the knee on the right-hand side, you can softly bend that right knee as you twist over towards the left. It's a really strong twist, this one. So fingertips lengthen towards the front of the room, keep that breath slow and steady, and then maybe you continue on your journey as that right palm reaches for left shoulder and left fingertips reach for the shirt or the opposite hip crease. Draw length through the spine as you rise up to the crown of the head, inhale, and then exhale to look over that shoulder, drawing that belly in the whole way in. Good. And again, from here we might start to smile that chin in towards the chest on our exhale. And softly inhale towards the right and just enjoy that stretch across the neck. And then exhale back through center. And inhale over towards the right. Really nicely done. Once more. Exhale back through center. Slowly, softly does it. And inhale over towards the right. Last time. Exhale through center. And inhale over towards the left hand side. So from here, let's breathe out and then inhale to release the fingertips. Moving back through center. Good. And then from here, let's test the balance a little. So bringing those feet to hip width, bring those hands to the hips, roll those shoulders back, lengthen the tailbone, belly draws in. From this position, we're going to start to reach those fingertips up towards the sky, interlace those fingertips, palms face down. Flip the palms up towards the sky, and we're going to bring that weight straight over into that left leg and lift that right heel up. You know what happens here. We press through the heels of the palms, we pulse out that heel for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep that belly drawn in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it there. Broaden out towards me. Soften those shoulders away from those ears. Maybe bring a little bit of lift into that right ankle as we balance on that left thigh. Keep the belly drawn in. And then from here, we're going to exhale back through center. And this time, we're going to bring the feet out towards the front. So palms reach forwards. Toes reach forwards, almost like sort of we're puppeting the toes with those fingertips. So lift those toes as we lift the fingertips up to shoulder height. Draw the belly in and just flexing and extending the toes here. Using those belly muscles to support the thigh as we lift a little higher. And then exhale to bring the knee in towards the chest and lower it all the way down. Give those knees a little shake. And then we're going to practice that same thing on the other side. So from here, sweep those fingertips up towards the sky, palms face down. Inhale to flip the palms up towards the sky, up and over towards the right. This time shifting into that right leg, lift that left heel up. Slowly does it. Find your balance, and when you're there, we can pulse from the hip and the thigh for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hold it there and open towards me. Softly does it. Palms broaden out. Lift that heel a little bit higher as we balance into that right thigh. Holding, holding, holding. Inhale as we reach that crown of the head away. And then exhale back through center. Take an inhale as we slide those toes out towards the front of the room. Lift those fingertips up. Use those belly muscles. Press with that standing leg. Wobble around a bit if you must. And hold for 3, 2, 1. And softly bring that knee in and step it all the way back down. Release those fingertips and bring those palms back towards the hips here. Just give those legs a little bit of a shake. Good. And then from this position, we're going to step the feet wide. So turn those toes out, knees come out over those ankles. And imagine that skin stretching from the groin to the outside of the knees here. And then from here, we're going to practice a little bit more breath work, a bit of strengthening for the hips and the thighs here, as we come into that sort of earth sky type breath. So from here, we're going to float the fingertips out towards the front of the room. The pelvis is nice and stable. Those fingertips are loose without touching. And we're going to press the air all the way out. So exhale the air out. From here, the shoulders are nice and soft and loose here. As we gently inhale to trail those fingertips up towards the sky. Imagine a gigantic ball of light between the fingertips, radiating between the fingers and the chest. As we inhale up. Exhale to soften those fingertips out towards the side of the room. And then as we're ready, we're going to inhale, reaching back up. And then exhale to press through the thighs as we bring that sky energy down. Press it deep into the pelvis. Good. Again. Inhale to float those fingertips, palms face in, sinking through those knees, knees over those ankles, big ball of energy, big ball of light in front of us here. Inhale to reach those fingertips up, and once you know where you are, you might want to close the eyes to really visualize. Exhale to open up. And then inhale to reach up, breathe in that sky energy and compress as you straighten through the thighs. 2 more times, here we go. Inhale to slide those knees over those ankles, pelvis nice and stable. Inhale up. Exhale to soften, open and release. Inhale back through center above the head. Straighten and compress that sky energy in. Last time, inhale to sink through the knees. Exhale to open and release. Inhale to reach it up. And exhale to straighten and compress. Good. And then from here, we're going to put a soft bend in that right knee. Turn that right knee out towards the short edge of the mat. Turn that left heel away and those big toes in as we bring those fingertips out to our warrior 2. So palms face down here, sinking stably through that pelvis between the thighs. And then from this position, we're going to turn that right palm up and reverse our warrior. So reach those fingertips up, slide that left palm down the thigh as we reach towards the back of the room, as we soften the shoulders away from the ears and reach and lengthen up. From this position, we're going to exhale, sweep those right palms back out towards the front of the room, back through warrior 2 arms, and reach around to wrap that left hip, as we then sweep the left fingertips up and overhead, softening that right shoulder away. See if you can twist a little from the waist, imagining that arm pressing against, the right arm pressing against the thigh to work as a lever to twist from the waist up and overhead here into our extended side angle. Then back the other way, exhale through warrior 2 arms. Only this time we're going to sweep the left palm behind the hip, reaching for opposite hip crease as we reverse into our warrior here, keeping that front knee bent. Inhale to lengthen. Last time, exhale, reach those right fingertips out towards the front of the room, wrap the opposite hip. Left fingertips reach up and overhead, softening those shoulders away. Finding some stillness here, so we're moving from the waist primarily, and the pelvis is stable, the feet are stable. Then as we're ready, we're going to exhale back through, so sweep that left palm behind and hook the right hip crease. Right palm reaches up to reverse. And then from here, we're going to straighten out through that right thigh. So front heel, back arch alignment into our reverse Trikonasana triangle here. And that left arm is still wrapping that right hip where possible. And then from here, we exhale back through our warrior 2 arms, glide into that back hip, turn the palms to face me as we come into our Trikonasana here. So broaden. So twisting from the waist again, pressing through big toe man of front foot, through outside of back foot, broaden towards me, lift that heart up, reach the crown of the head up, and get maximum extension through all corners, all extremities of the body here. And then from here, we're going to reverse our Trikonasana once more. So moving from the waist, go carefully, press through the feet for stability, moving slowly from the navel. As we reverse our Trikonasana, slide that left palm around to hook the right waist, and hold and soften here. Good. And then from this position, we're going to exhale back through warrior 2 arms. We're going to pick up that back heel, step the foot wide, and come into our high crescent here. So bring that right hip back, left hip forwards, and sweep the fingertips up towards the sky. Front knee bent deeply over that front knee. From here, we're going to slide left palm towards left thigh and reverse right fingertips, looking over left shoulder. And then exhale to bring alongside right hand, as we then sweep the right palm back and across, reversing our high crescent here. From this position, we're going to exhale forwards, sweep past that hip crease once more, turn out on that back foot and come back into our Trikonasana as we open towards the side of the room. Good. And then from here, we're going to put a soft bend in that front knee. As we come back through warrior 2 arms, palms face down, then turn front toes in, back toes out to repeat on the other side. So sinking stably in between the pelvis here, pressing through the Big toe man of that front foot, outside of back foot, front heel, back arch alignment, stable pelvis, shoulders soft, micro bend in the elbows. Turn that right palm up towards the sky and reversing our warrior. Right palm slides down that back thigh as we lengthen up and then back. Moving from that belly, draw that belly in as we lengthen towards the back of the room. And then from here we exhale to slide those fingertips forwards to wrap the opposite hip. So left palm to right hip. Sweep right fingertips up and overhead, keeping the pelvis stable the whole way. So up and overhead for a little bit more twisting from the waist. Imagining using that left arm as a lever to twist from the waist towards the front of the room. And then back again. Exhale back through warrior two arms. This time right palm sweeps behind, reaches for the shirt or the opposite hip crease. As we reverse our warrior, inhale here, soften the shoulders away, finding some stillness between poses. And then exhale to sweep back the other way. Left palm wraps right hip, right fingertips float towards the sky. And then up and overhead, twisting from the waist, pressing through that back heel. Look up if that's okay on the neck, or look down. And then again, last time, exhale to bring back through, sweep that right palm behind to left hip crease. Left fingertips reach up and overhead, reversing. And then here we straighten out through the front thigh to come into our reverse trikonasana. Keep the shoulders soft, press with that big toe mound, remember. And then from here, we're going to exhale to unwind the arms, glide into that back hip, sliding over towards the back. Shifting into that back heel, maybe those big toes turn in a little. As we open towards me in a trikonasana, palms float away. Spiral the tailbone towards the back heel as you open broadly. And again, just keep that pelvis stable, press through the feet to engage the inner thighs. And then from here, we're going to reverse that trikonasana. So carefully does it, pivoting from the waist, draw the belly in, press through the back heel, rising up slowly, back through warrior two arms, and then reversing our trikonasana. This time, right palm sweeps behind, reaches for left hip as we reverse that triangle. Take a deep breath here. And then again, exhale back the other way. So back through warrior two arms. Open towards me as we glide into that back hip and open. And then last time, exhale to come back through warrior two arms, reversing our trikonasana. Right palm wraps the left hip, reversing. And then put a bend back in that left knee as we come back through warrior two arms and spin up on that back heel as we turn to face the short edge. Step the feet wide, scoop the pelvis, both knees are bent, then press through the back heel to reach those fingertips up towards the sky. Good, holding here in our high crescent. First thing, sweeping that right palm back to same side of the thigh, reversing left fingertips, look over right shoulder. And then exhale, sweep right palm alongside left. Reaching up as we then twist to the opposite side, left palm reaches across to right thigh, reversing right fingertips. And then from here we're going to exhale, slide those right fingertips forwards, press through that back heel. Let's pause for a moment here to really anchor through that back heel, find that moment of stillness as we straighten up through the length of the spine here. Reach the crown of the head up, and then from here we're going to softly slide that right palm down past the right hip, turn back out on that back heel as we come back into our trikonasana, palms go broad facing towards me. Tuck that tailbone towards the back heel as we lengthen towards the front of the room and hold here. And then maybe you take that wrap, so sweep right fingertips around, hook left hip, look up or down if that's okay on the neck and hold it here. Good. And holding. And then from here, as we're ready, we're going to put a bend in that front knee. We're going to unwind back through warrior two arms. So windmill those fingertips, plant them either side of the feet and step that right foot alongside left. And from here, we're going to take a very gentle vinyasa. So we're going to bring the fingertips towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they don't reach. Bring the hands to the shins. And we're going to open that heart, rolling the shoulders away from each other. Take an inhale here as we reach the crown of the head forwards. Exhale to slide those palms up to the thighs and gently round the spine, keeping that head lifted or tuck the chin. Then inhale to open those shoulders wide, lift that chest and float the fingertips up towards the sky. Inhale, reaching up. Back the way we came this time, only this time we're going to soften the knees. So soften the knees as we lower the palms towards the thighs, keep those knees parallel. And then from here we open the chest, move those shoulders apart. Exhale to gently slide the palms down, sit bones go back, heart goes forward, slide the palms to the shins, rounding gently or tuck the chin. Inhale to lower a little bit more deeply, send those sit bones broader, deeper bend in those knees, open the chest. And then from here we're going to exhale, plant the palms, and we're going to step both feet back. So plant the palms softly, bend those knees as much as you need to. We're going to step that right foot back and keep that right knee bent. And the left foot is going to step back and keep the left foot bent. From here, we're going to sink the heels towards the floor as we send the tailbone high, keeping those knees bent, those feet wide. And then we're going to exhale to softly lower to the knees. Inhale, roll the shoulders open, lift the head. Exhale, tuck the toes back the way we came, send the tailbone up, bend those knees, draw the belly in towards the thighs, head is lifted or dropping towards the floor. Again, exhale to bring those knees towards the floor. Inhale, roll the shoulders open, lift the chest. Last time, exhale, tuck the toes, send the tailbone high, bring the belly towards the thighs, crown of the head lifts or drops towards the floor gently, and press through the heels for a little extra stretch here if you can. And then as we take our next exhale, we're going to lower towards the knees. We're going to slide those palms all the way back a handprint as we bring the heart towards the floor. From here, we're going to slide forwards between the arms, lowering into a baby cobra. And for this, you need only just lift the chin about 1 centimetre off the floor, a fraction if you're avoiding back bends. Otherwise, press with the palms, reach to the crown of the head up. And from here, we're going to lower the chin back towards the floor, lift that right heel up in a half locust. Spinning that inner thigh in towards the left thigh here. Imagine pinning a cushion between the knees. And then exhale to lower that down towards the floor. Inhale to lift the left heel up. Pressing through the toes maybe to spin those thighs in towards centre, engaging the pubic bone, the thighs. And then exhale to drop towards the floor. And then from here we're going to tuck those toes, bring the belly towards the thighs. Extended child's pose. Fingertips reach forward, forehead lowers between the forearms. And then from here, we're going to inhale, look up, swing those legs all the way around towards the front. We're going to take a gentle forward fold here. Paschimottanasana, and for this I'd have your blanket handy because we are nearly there, okay? So rolling up your blanket, pop it beneath the knees. Take a moment here to come into our Paschimottanasana, our forward fold. So from this position, rest the knees. So there's a gentle bend in those knees. As we then shuffle those sit bones towards the floor and scoop out any remaining flesh that gets in our way. And then from here we're going to reach those fingertips up towards the sky, draw those toes back gently. And then exhale, bring the belly towards the thighs as if we were standing in a forward fold. And just soften the fingertips towards the floor. Drop the shoulders away from those ears to press them gently down. And bring that chin towards the chest if that's okay on your neck. Otherwise keep the head lifted and just bring the heart forwards a little bit more. Bending more deeply at the knees if that feels more comfortable. You can walk the feet a little further apart if you prefer. And then just gently fold forwards, keeping that heart lifting, just gently decompressing the spine here as we fold into our Paschimottanasana. Sending that breath into the belly, maybe just shuffling from side to side a little through those sit bones. And then, as we're ready, we're going to inhale, look up, slide those palms back up the shins, press the heels away, sit tall in our Dandasana, palms plant alongside the hips, shoulders broaden. And then from here we're going to bring ourselves to the forearms, so lower to the forearms. Fingertips face either alongside the hips or behind the hips towards the low back. And then again, gently, if you're avoiding back bends, just stay here and just lift the heart gently. Otherwise, press through the forearms. Lift the chest up, squeeze and draw those shoulder blades in towards centre and soften to the toes for Matsyendrasana, fish pose here. So keep the crown head reaching back, pressing through strong arms, keep those shoulders nice and broad. To come out, tuck the chin, slide forwards on the mat a little, roll that blanket down behind the knees and then softly lower all the way to the floor. We'll take a twist, so we're going to draw the knees in towards the chest. As we softly twist the knees off towards the right, looking left. Allow those toes to soften, resting in. Ankles nicely stacked, knees resting gently. Right palm rests on the left thigh. And then exhale through centre, drawing those belly muscles in, squeeze those knees in towards the chest, and then rocking those knees towards the left. As we look right, sliding that right palm up, at shoulder height and enjoying this supine twist. And just allow the whole body to start to soften. And then exhale back through center, draw those knees back in towards the chest. And then find your way to your Shavasana. So you might prefer to bring the feet wide and rest the knees in, okay, if that's your preferred position. Otherwise, resting the backs of those knees against that neatly rolled up blanket, walking those feet wide, allowing those ankles to drift apart, those toes to flop open, walk those shoulders away from the ears, readjust to the whole length of the spine as resting against the floor, feeling fully supported. Palms roll up towards the sky to make us receptive, to open ourselves up to all that's good that's coming our way. And the chin tilts ever so slightly in towards the chest and the eyes soften or close completely, tuning out visual distractions as we allow the body to quiet, the mind to quiet, and we come into that state of rest. I'm going to dim the lights my end as you find your Shavasana, and I'll talk you through your rest. Really well done. So as you settle in to your Shavasana, just remember to keep the face relaxed. The whole body relaxed. And try to empty the mind of thoughts, distractions where you can. This is where we say, are you not thinking what I'm not thinking? But staying alert to this quiet, peaceful quality. Allow the awareness to connect to the lotus of the heart. Feel yourself slow down. Open up, inviting in the magic of our yoga practice, inviting in growth, change and transformation. Start to feel that stream of incessant thinking start to fade into the background, becoming more like background noise, while you tune into the sensation and the rhythm of the breath. And here is where you can loosen all efforts and truly let go. Far too often we try to control and manage, resisting the flow of life, of energy. So here we give up the resistance, yield to the flow, acknowledge the beauty in life and the gift in each moment, trickling in, flooding in with the breath. Feel the lungs expand. These lungs representing our competence, our ability to hold life and support in the heart. And so we expand the lungs with the breath and allowing the mind to move towards this sensation of abundance and fullness. Feeling complete and whole. Allow gratitude once more to sink into the heartbeat. Allow gratitude to sink into the pace of the breath. Allow gratitude to imbue your energy, the essence of your very being. And then as you are ready, to choose love, to choose life, start to invite back in your own intention for your practice, whatever it may be, the quality you're aligning yourself with. It's so important to watch our thoughts, because they become words, the words become actions. So watching our intentions also, for they can become our destiny. And then as we are ready, start to coax the body to make some small movements of fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, any direction you choose. Maybe the body is craving a final stretch, so maybe you reach the fingers up overhead, the toes away. Just drawing yourself to your full height, at least 2 to 4 centimetres taller than at the start. And then softly wrapping the shoulders or drawing the knees in towards the chest, and give yourself a warm, loving embrace. Connecting in. And then as we're ready, rolling off on towards the right hand side. This keeps the heart lifted. Releases pressure from around the heart. And then as we are ready, we press through the palms of the hands. Gently rolling back up to a comfortable seat. The head is the last thing to come into balance. And then we can bring the palms in at the heart center and tilt the chin in towards the chest. In not only a gesture of reverence, but one of humility and of acknowledgement and connection. And then palms in front of the forehead for loving thoughts. To the heart center for loving intentions, and to the lips for loving communications. Thank you so much for your beautiful gentle yoga practice. I hope you're glistening. And I cannot wait to see you next time. Have a wonderful week. Namaste.